My name is Paul Reardon. I am a father of 4, Army veteran and paramedic. Since 2023, I've been engaged in a highly contentious court battle with my now ex-wife, who while we were still married left the state of New Mexico with our children, which we had lived in since 2016. 3 of my 4 children were also born in New Mexico. I filed for divorce on March 20th after repeated attempts to contact her and resolve the issue directly between the 2 of us. None of these were successful. I initially filed for divorce because I was advised by the police that this was a civil matter and that they would not be able to institute any kind of order to return her to the state of New Mexico, and because we were married, they couldn't actually do anything about the fact that she left the state without my consent and without the agreement of a court. After filing for divorce, a temporary domestic order was issued stating that the children should be returned to New Mexico and that both parents should be allowed equitable time with the children. Instead of abiding this court order, she made false accusations of domestic violence, drug abuse, child abuse, addictions of various kinds to sex addictions and alcoholism, and like I said, drug abuse. None of these were true, and she has yet to substantiate these claims over 2 years later. The order for protection was allowed to stand because under advice of counsel, I took a stipulated order without findings. At the time, I was told that there was no way to win the battle because the judge would ultimately come down to a he said, she said, and who he believed more between my wife and me. He told me that I was very unlikely to win that battle because the courts often find in favor of the person that alleges abuse, despite the fact that no evidence was provided. As a result of this, the courts allowed it to be that she stayed in Minnesota against court orders and against the law. In New Mexico, the law is known as NMSA 30-4-4 or custodial interference, which is a subsection of kidnapping in the New Mexico Penal Code. Since that time, I was relegated to supervised visitation despite there being no abuse history and despite there being no substantiation of the claims that she made. I was ordered to undergo multiple psychological batteries by different experts, and during those evaluations, there was no evidence found that I had committed any of the abuses or even had the potential and capability of performing those abuses and actions that she claimed that I performed. I followed every order by the court. I followed due process to the letter, and I did everything the right way, and all that it did was put me at a disadvantage and kept me away from my children for over 2 years while I was being told to be patient and continue to abide the court process. Now, over 2 years later, I'm being told that the only result of going to court is going to be that the children remain in Minnesota because of the status quo. Even if the judge sees in my favor that she did everything wrong, the children have lived in Minnesota for over 2 years, have established a life, have been attending school and all manner of other things. And despite the fact that she disrupted over 8 years of a life established in New Mexico in favor of a new life in Minnesota apart from me and separating me from them and daily life, birthdays, taking them to and from school, supporting them, helping them with homework, and helping develop them as humans, which I've been doing since they were born. Instead of allowing for all of that, the courts have allowed her to stay in Minnesota, develop a status quo, which is now uncontestable, I am told. And the courts will always opt for maintaining a status quo. I've attempted repeatedly to have the children returned to New Mexico. I've attempted repeatedly to file police complaints for custodial interference when she has canceled visits without any good cause. She removed the children from the state of New Mexico without good cause and has remained outside of it. I've tried to do everything. The system feels broken. It doesn't feel like it advocates for children. It doesn't feel like it advocates for the people involved in it, the parents or otherwise. The silver bullet divorce is allowed to be a one-way ticket to getting exactly what you want out of the divorce, which is all of the benefits of marriage and 100% time with the children, the support of a financial spouse, without any of the obligations that come with that, and the allowance to do whatever else you want, to go wherever you want and do whatever you want, to take unilateral control over the lives of your children and establish a new life absent their very present and very loving father. I don't feel like the system has done anything. The system has erased me and allowed me to be erased by my now ex-wife. I'm still here fighting for my children and for the system to be repaired. I don't feel like there's anything that is going to come of my fight. I've been told that the best thing I can do is to take whatever scraps that she'll give me, whatever minimal amount of time that she will allow me. And I'm told that that's the best course of action. I'm told that the other course of action would be to completely uproot my life, move to a place that I have never lived, where my children have never lived prior to 2 years ago, and where I have no friends, no family, no support structure, on the hope that she allows me to have custody of my children, at least partially, at least once every other weekend, at least once a month, at least once every 6 months, whatever she'll allow me. If I just move out there, then she'll give me something. That's what I promised. But I have no faith in that, as she has repeatedly violated court orders and has repeatedly attempted to erase me from my children's life. So I sit before you as a struggling, nearly broken father who has been beaten down by a system that does not care about me, for a system that has forgotten about me. I have attempted to raise awareness to my local representation. I have attempted to raise awareness to the local Attorney General, the District Attorney's Office, to the police, and every single stage I have been told that this is a civil matter and I just need to be patient with the civil system. But being patient with the civil system has resulted in me being ignored and losing whatever advantage has been allowed by the system. Despite her doing everything the wrong way and me doing everything the right way, my children are the ones who suffer and are taken away from their father. I can only hope that the way that they've been raised prior to this manages to succeed, and that they can still continue to grow into strong, healthy individuals. But I have no influence over that, and I have no control over that at this point. I have no control over any part of my life or their life. And as a father that loves my children and has only been wanting to be engaged in their lives and help them, develop them as the best humans they can possibly be, that is absolutely heartbreaking and destroys me on an emotional level. Thank you for listening.